Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and in action for the round two game here at the University of Montana. Going in live and ready for the Rumble. Bringing in the heat. Alright, we had a little bit of a struggle in that first match there, but alas, we will bring back the power this time around.
Yeah. I'm excited. I have to be a little biased because I want the Griz to win. I'm a caster for the Griz, but can't discount MSU showed up to play, and we can't knock that.
It's true. It's true. It is true. Now, it's going to be interesting because we do have first pick this time.
We do.
We'll be on both sides. So it's going to be interesting to see what MSU decides to ban because honestly, Victor is just a strong champion overall right now. So they could decide to ban Victor out, and they could also decide to ban Katarina out. Or what I think might be an interesting strategy is if they leave both Victor and Katarina open, knowing that Victor is strong enough to counter the Katarina in the mid lane. If they leave both open and we don't ban either one and we get first pick, we choose either to choose Victor or a Katarina pick for Shy, and that could be a back and forth. So,
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the big thing, right? Is Shahai plays a very, very good Katarina. So that is something, regardless, I really do think MSU respects the Katarina, especially in the current climate of the items. Katarina is just very strong. And regardless if you would have a Victor or something, like a Katarina is just going to two-shot Victor. She's going to throw a dagger and then jump on him and he's dead. That's just kind of the unfortunateness that is Katarina. Fortunate for those Katarina players, but unfortunateness for anyone else.
Gotcha.
So I think MSU is going to have to ban the Katarina. Not necessarily, maybe because they may feel comfortable that they could potentially play against it, but again, in the new climate of the items, that makes it that makes Katarina infinitely stronger. So I think they're going to do a Katarina ban. I would expect MSU to ban Victor because Victor is a played champion by so it's one of those things where I think the can prevent the ban. They don't have to waste their ban on a Victor because they can force MSU to ban it, because if they don't ban it, then they can then can pick it up. So
Gotcha.
It'll be, Victor, a highly contested pick, I think could be picked up by if it's not banned by MSU.
All right, let's take a look here. The first ban is a Hecarim coming from University of Montana here. We'll see what MSU decides to ban as we go in. There's the Katarina ban. That's the first one every time. First ban.
And again, no matter how confident you are to play against a Katarina player, Katarina's just very strong right now with the item, with the Soul Harvester or whatever it's called, Night Harvester. So,
gotcha. Here we see the Leona ban. All right.
I'm interested to see if an Echo ban comes out, just because that was very oppressive last game.
A set ban comes out this time. So last time it was the Volley Bear ban. Oh.
So Victor banned by
Okay.
Again, I don't think that was needed by but maybe does not want to play Victor at all.
That's true.
So we'll see who they prioritize. They do pick up Shen as a first pick.
I'm getting in chat asking if HyperRat is playing. HyperRat is Shahai here on the team here. Yep. So that is a go-to. So I'm looking and I see that Shy and Jet Jaguar are switched in location. And I don't know if they just didn't care to line up or if Shy's actually going jungle this time.
Yeah, I think that was just a whoops more so than them switching, because I don't believe Jet Jaguar plays mid at all.
Yeah, I
I
don't think so
haven't
either.
seen him play mid. That doesn't mean he couldn't, but it's just not something I've seen him do.
We do
So
see after a Shen pick from Coles, the Samira pick, and then a Dr. Mundo pick as well. Mundo, with this new item rework, is still practically the same. He
just more
he
invincible.
he's just yeah he's just more a meatball
Yep.
with the new items going in there. And Samira is just a strong pick in general. Getting a Caitlyn pick for our bot lane is pretty strong because I believe Emergency, I think his number one champion's Caitlyn.
Yeah, so
Um,
Samira is very very strong, especially with the items right now. I
mhm,
do believe she did get a very small nerf in the most recent patch. They reduced her base HP and I believe her armor, which makes her a little bit more squishy early on. And what
mhm,
I'm kind of predicting, Kale picked up. I'm guessing Kale is going to go to Cole's top lane, and either the Shen is going to be flex jungle or support. If it for some reason does go to support for Samira, or for Caitlyn, that's gonna hurt Samira a little bit more because that's what she's most vulnerable to is CC. But they
mhm.
do pick up the Nautilus, so a Samira Nautilus combination is pretty powerful.
Yes, yes, it is. That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
A pick because last time in the second ban phase is when we actually banned Nautilus. So that's deadly. They do the Zyra ban after last game, seeing how powerful Zyra was. And there's a Morgana ban as well after we classically ban out Ornn, even though Mundo, I feel, will most likely go in the top lane.
Yeah, but it could
Um,
be flex to jungle.
yeah, it could be flex to
You
jungle.
know, you
Going
never know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially with the new item rework, you just never know now
Yeah. Well,
what
and there
people have been
was
trying.
there was the Korean hype of Fleet Footwork Jungle Mundo that was basically unkillable
Yep.
for a while. So
The man who just runs you down and throws a cleaver. Oh, and here's the
yep.
Renekton pick, showing that maybe Mundo is going jungle as a flex down.
Yeah,
As a
so it
Renekton going top.
looks like either and again Renekton could be flexed to the mid lane. It could be a mid lane Renekton. So
That is also
and
true. I've seen you in my games play
yeah.
Renekton in the mid lane. That's true.
And as chat just chat pointed out, which I do agree with them, is that it could be a mid lane Nautilus. I haven't seen it since I believe it was
That is
Kor-
true.
Koreans play in or something
Wasn't at
close to
Worlds
that.
last year, right?
Yeah, Worlds last year
Yeah.
and some Korean play-ins, but I lean more towards not it being mid, um, but at the same time, you never know.
Well, the
I feel
Zerath
like
is definitely
there,
a mid pick here.
yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of quote unquote flexes, but we'll
hmm
definitely I feel like we'll see them go into their respective lanes. I imagine we'll
hmm
see. It
Yeah, for
looks like
sure.
Shahai getting Lucian mid. Lucian mid right now is actually very, very strong. Um,
Against Zerath, do you think it is be strong still?
if if Lucian can outplay the Zera stun, yes.
Okay. Now
So
Shen in the jungle as Jet Jaguar. How
yep.
is that?
So
I haven't seen Jet Jaguar play Shen, but I haven't
the Shen jungle is
seen too much.
actually very good,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You hear a lot of hype around it. I think that it showed up in Worlds a few different times.
hmm
So the Shen jungle is actually pretty quality, and actually a really good pick as long as you play it right. You get Shen to 6. He has map pressure with his ult. The picking of Kale top lane, it kind of puts a timer on you saying Kale wants to get to at least level 11 before you actually really want to try to push for game winning moves and stuff like that. It
Right.
used to be 16. Kale got a little bit of a buff, but Kale at 16 is still very strong. Probably one of the strongest power spikes in the game. So what I'm kind of seeing from is they kind of want to get this scaling / lane dominance between, Lucian should be able to lane dominate Xerath at the beginning of the game, but eventually I believe that Xerath will poke Lucian out. So then you turn to things like Kale and Shen, Caitlyn, Caitlyn wanting to be a tower sieger. It'll be very interesting. It's very, very good that, picked up Jaina. Jaina's tornadoes when Nautilus hooks her is kind of the same thing as when Leona hooks you, and then Jaina tornadoes her to knock her away. But the only thing is Samira comes with a caveat that says, hey, when you get CC'd, I get a free CC. So it'll be interesting to see how that interaction works out. I believe regardless if Nautilus gets pulled to the player when they're hooked, I still think Samira can get the CC. So it kind of nullifies the utility of Jaina being able to tornado the opponent. But
yeah,
we'll have to kind of see. I want to see play around their Lucian mid laner because Lucian is a very strong laner.
Actually, I played Lucian for the first time on an ARAM map just last weekend, and I actually had a fun time with him. It was fun to like dash around, and I was popping off. I was doing a lot of damage, a lot. But that was before the item rework, so I don't know.
I still think Lucian is just as strong with the the item rework. Lucian in the mid lane is very, very strong. He doesn't feel as good in the bot lane, but he's very strong in the mid lane, I feel. Xerath just has to play the range game. That's where he's at.
So my question is, what item do you predict that Lucian would build in the mid lane?
Well, I see a lot of AD carries building the Immortal Shield Bow. A lot of people say that the Immortal Shield Bow is basically the only good AD carry item. But I have also seen a lot of people, or a lot of Lucians in particular, build the Kraken Slayer.
I was just gonna say, I was like, Kraken Slayer.
Because I think it's every third attack deals like true damage. And so, Lucian is very, very good at proccing the third hit essentially with his double tap passive and all that kind of stuff. So it makes the Kraken Slayer a little bit more valuable on Lucian. But we'll just kind of have to see how it plays out. I think if Lucian gets ahead, then the Kraken Slayer is a good item to opt into. And we'll just have to see if, it looks like Lucian opts for Ignite once you guys get into the game with us. You can see the summoner spells, but Lucian opted for Ignite, where Xerath opted for TP. So we'll just kind of have to see how that plays out.
All right, and we're gonna hop on into the game here as people loaded on in, and we can take a look to see the Chilling Smite is the option for both junglers, and a Chilling Smite is typically the most common for junglers. In my opinion, I almost never see people going the red smite.
Yeah, the only time I ever see red smite taken is when a jungler is trying to kind of duel, is looking for that kind of like burn. See it
Kinda
on
like Nocturne, basically.
Yeah, Xin Zhao, those types are those types of junglers that are looking to duel, looking to trade, because red smite gives you that advantage of that trade.
True. I'm glad we said at the same time, as Nocturne is a good assassin jungler that I just always think about. Because he's one of the first junglers I ever played. So
yeah, usually, I mean, Chilling Smite is that type of chase you down kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Shen could have opted in for the chilling smite, or for the red smite, because you know, Shen does like to duel, but
Yeah.
it's not, you know, it's not a priority for them to have to take it.
Gotcha. So this is interesting. Mundo started crows.
Yeah, so depending on what kind of jungler you are, sometimes you have the ability to take a starting camp rather than a buff. Mundo, with his ability, you know, his little whirl around fire ability, I can't remember it right off the top of my head because I haven't seen a Mundo in a while, but that ability allows him to kind of like similar to Kane or a Mumu even, you know, since you're an Amumu player, from time to time they'll take something that allows them to take a camp before they take their actual buff. You know, Mundo doesn't really have any gank power until, you know, probably, but I mean, he could gank anywhere between 4 to 6, but he doesn't have any hard CC. He has nothing he can lock anybody down with, so you know, why put in the effort to gank a lane when you could just power farm to 6?
It looks like Renekton goes down into the jungle, get a deep ward for the Mundo, as Shen was there and already had taken blue buff, and it's just finished Gromp. They each hit each other once, and then they walked away.
Yep, trying to get that vision, trying to figure out where that Shen is at, so that Mundo knows. Again, you know, Mundo's just looking to power farm, build up to his mythic item, get kind of to that level 6, and just trying to make sure that.
Here we see Renekton going down on Coles, popping down that damage as he was full of rage and he had some energy to use up.
Yep. Again, unfortunately, pre 6 or even pre 11, Kale is just not as as effective as a champion.
It looks like Shen's coming up and he was gonna back in the bush there. Mundo's down in Shen's jungle, though. I think he's gonna run at Krugs. He's gonna potentially take Shen's Krugs. Oh, unfortunate. Alright, here we do see Coles and Jet Jaguar up here in the top lane, going down on top of this Renekton. Here we see potentially a taunt from Shen. Oh, but no, Renekton is able to get away. Oh, but he goes back in to get a little bit of work here.
Yeah, so this would be really good. If he gets a flash taunt off, they might be able to secure first blood. They are putting a lot of investment into Coles right now. Shen is going to finish the back as
all right, here's the Mundo on the bot lane. Archer 66 looking really low, and first blood goes to Nautilus. Very nicely done, getting that death to give to the support instead of to Samira. Very unfortunate that we gave first blood, but it's nice that the support picked it up.
Yeah, there's that, you know, Nautilus, as soon as his anchor hits you, you're CC'd, so it procs Samira's passive, and Samira can then just follow up CC you. Very unfortunate. Archer tried his best to get out of there, but just unable to make it happen.
Yeah, very unfortunate indeed. So, what is the Samira passive that, because does she use an ability to continue to CC somebody?
Yeah, so it's Samira's passive that actually does the CCing. So it's called Daredevil Impulse, and what happens, it kind of builds into her whole kit. But if any of you have ever played Devil May Cry, you'll understand the style system when you go from an E to an S. That's how Samira's kit is built. It's basically built like Dante.
And there goes
the
kill the Kale in the top lane there. So Renekton took him out.
No, that's a good dive by Renekton, knowing he has enough damage to kill Coles. So yeah, so built into her passive is the Daredevil Impulse, and part of that style system is also the ability that when a person gets immobilized, now it's specifically when a target gets immobilized, she will then be able to complete a small dash towards the target and apply a knockup for 25 seconds. So it's not a long CC, but it's enough to potentially help net a kill, as we saw that happen in the bot lane. Gotcha.
So is it basically like, So the hook goes off, and does she literally just have to click auto?
Yep. So there's a little indicator that shows that someone's been immobilized. You click on the person, and as long as you're within range, because it is a certain range that you have to be in. But Samira being close enough to be able to have that range, then clicks and CCs them. And what you would see, I mean, everybody was on top of each other, but what you end up seeing is you see Samira kind of do this little rat-a-tat shot. Like you see her kind of like go boom, 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 you know, and that signifies that Samira has CC'd you. And
Gotcha.
you also kind of float up in the air a little bit. That's the knockup, quote unquote.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, and it looks like a 3-man gank. Jumping onto the root. The Lucian goes and gets taken out in the mid lane here. Very unfortunate for Shy. His bot lane just came up with the Mundo.
Samira being able to play safe. Nautilus being able to roam towards mid lane. Again, Shahai just pushed up against the Xerath in a very vulnerable position. He did force the flash from Lyria in the mid lane from Xerath, so you know it is a summoner spell loss for Xerath for a little bit, but as long as Xerath plays safe, he should.
It looks like Cole's getting caught out yet again, but he has to use the ultimate ability to keep himself alive to get out from that gank of the Mundo in the top lane. He might get out of this, but they might dive him. Oh, and a nice kill from Samira there. She's gonna dash and hit the ult button, and then she gets out of there just barely, as Caitlyn barely gets out of there as well. Wow, Samira jumping in with the burst. Oh, a nice dash over here with Nautilus pulling Caitlyn here, but the Shen ult to save Caitlyn's life from the Nautilus. Very nice. Oh, a nice oh, man. That flash.
The taunt flash, but just not quite far enough in range.
Not quite. Very unfortunate, but also very nicely done from Jet Jaguar to keep the Caitlyn alive there.
Yep.
Alright, here we do see Kale going back and forth with the Renekton. Still waiting to get up in level here. She does secure the nice cannon minion there, however.
We always gotta make sure you secure the cannon minion.
Oh yeah, very important, very important.
All right, so question is what mythic items will we see coming out? You know, Renekton traditionally before the item changes has done Blade of the Ruin King.
It looks like he's looking to do the claw.
Yeah,
right now is what I'm thinking.
We did see that from, I think it was Jake from Scion.
Oh, I thought you were about to say State Farm, but that's okay. And the Shy's getting caught out again here in a 2v1. Very unfortunate indeed. Yeah, we did see that the claw from the top laner in the B team squad, and it could be for Renekton too, because that could be really nice. Oh, but the Nautilus go and knock up with the hook and the ultimate onto Jet Jaguar, bring him down to about 30 hit points. Mundo's gonna come out from back behind, throwing a cleaver and stopping that recall from Jet Jaguar.
Yeah, Kale doesn't have a TP, Renekton does. If they do try to do a tower dive, they would have an advantage if Oleg tried to TP down. Looks like they're not going to go for the dive though. They're gonna just let Shen back, get a little farm. Everyone kind of goes back to their merry things.
It looks like drags up in 20 seconds here as well. So, all right, some good engagement here in the knock in as Samira's getting ready to ult, but she's getting poked out, and a kill goes to Caitlyn in the bot lane, throwing down the damage.
Yeah, that surprise damage from Caitlyn. You know, you get the trap headshot, little tower padding help. You know,
and it looks like Renekton might just get this tier 1 in the top lane. It's definitely going down, yeah. For sure.
Oh yeah, that was a big ult from Jaina to push Samira out. But Renekton again, you know, bullying Kale out and taking the tower.
Yeah, for sure. All right, they are gonna start drag. UMT bringing in the heat. They are getting some collapse. Xerath is gonna ultimate onto the drag here. Oh, and a nice smite from Jet Jaguar to secure it instead. Very nice. And almost steal from Xerath, but luckily
Second game in a row, we'll see the Windrake.
Yeah. A nice Windrake for 2 games. Wow. And after
always
Ocean Mountain as well. Did we have any Infernal last game?
Don't think we did. So we have not seen an Infernal at all in these 2 games. Yeah. So what we need to see is MSU maybe throw this one, and we can see an Infernal game 3. But
yeah.
You know.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Looking for that Infernal.
I mean, UM will just win. MSU doesn't need to throw it all.
Indeed.
But yeah, some big damage coming out from Xerath. You know, again.
Yeah.
Xerath really getting the support from his team. With
here we see the
Nautilus.
caught out from Kale right here. As Coles went to try to stop the blue buff from being taken, but alas, the kill goes to Renekton, and mid tier 1 goes down to Xerath. Wow.
Yep. We see the Duskblade Renekton coming out.
Oh, jeez. Duskblade is deadly. It is deadly indeed.
Yeah, so Duskblade, I think, trying to think if it actually works. So it has an ability.
The Mundo here going under tower for the Lucian. Shen is here, however, with the taunt to kill Mundo under tower. Here goes Samira going down. Oh, just barely making it out of there alive. Going in after the Caitlyn ult.
That's that immortal shield bow at work. Popping the shield, protecting Samira long enough to not die.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like Mundo went Iceborne Gauntlet. Or I think it's called Frigid Gauntlet now. Or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like Duskblade would work. Oh, there's a big
nice stun on the Caitlyn. Interesting down here in the bot lane. That was a good over the wall from the Xerath. Letting Lucian know that his mid lane is a little bit open.
Yeah, so if Renekton gets a kill with Duskblade, with the slow effect being active, so within 3 seconds, Renekton actually would technically go invisible, which would be really funny, because that's the Duskblade effect.
That is true. Oh man, I remember reading about the item.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
going
it'll be
invisible.
really funny to see an invisible crocodile. Speaking
Crocodile
of
kill and then invisible and then leaves.
Yeah. Speaking of crocodiles, Sam, have I told you my joke?
No.
Oh, it's not quite a crocodile, but what do you call an alligator in a vest?
I don't know what.
An investigator.
Ah. Oh my Che. Wow. Salty Pops with the ... in chat. Wow. That was next level pun.
I mean, Coles isn't casting, so we gotta bring it in somewhere.
That's true. The puns we're looking for it. All right, here we see an over the wall aggressive play from Mundo here. And here we see potentially Lucian coming in. No, he decided to back on out of there.
Yeah, I worry about them trying to engage on Mundo because there's no healing reduction on the side of the University of Montana. So
yeah, Mundo's ultimate's really gonna push forward.
Yeah, they're gonna get free healing.
The Xerath ult comes out onto the Caitlyn, trying to take her down, but just barely doesn't do it. But they get a nice knock-in and taunt from Shen on the Nautilus. The Samira ults, and they're going back and forth here under tower. Mundo gets a kill on Coles, bringing out the damage. Nautilus is looking low from the turret, getting taken out by Janna as the last hit. Mundo's going in under tower here, however, and a dash from Samira to double kill. with the dash, and now if you guys don't know, Samira, her dash there resets its cooldown after, oh, and a nice dash on from Kale here, as Kale has hit level 11 now, bringing out the heat and the shutdown with a double kill here on the Samira Mundo, as Mundo was taking tower shots so Samira could walk under the tower and get out of there. Wow, for those of you who don't know as well, as I was saying, Samira, oh, here we see Renekton going in under tower here. He goes invisible! And there's the tower shots, however, to take him out, and this Lucian goes and takes the kill there. Wow.
Unfortunately, towers still detect invisibility.
That is true. That is true. But as I was saying before, Samira, her E is her dash to either an ally or an enemy, and it resets on cooldown.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Samira just didn't have the mana to get out, so she was kind of stuck in this.
That's what I was just about to ask. I was gonna say, I was like, it was interesting because she didn't dash to Mundo to get out of there after she secured a double kill. It is nice that University of Montana takes a second dragon, leading them for 2 dragons to the 1 dragon from MSU, which is nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Samira still has a mana bar. Otherwise, she'd be incredibly OP, I feel.
Yes, she would.
So with not having, you know, like sometimes that Samira's will build Essence Reavers or something like that to kind of help with the spamming of abilities, because that's what gives her ultimate. But I believe Essence Reaver isn't really a build path anymore for Samira, so running out of mana, unable to get out of the base, Mundo trying to be a nice guy and escort Samira out. But Kale just happens to be in the right spot.
And here we see Mundo potentially in a 2v1. Shen's walking up, gets a smite, and I didn't quite see if Shen got the smite off to get that kill. And Renekton's looking really low from the ultimate, and the nice kill onto Nautilus, who walked in the way of Renekton. Instead of Renekton dying, Nautilus went and took the shot, who was also low. Very unfortunate.
So I wanna give, I mean, MSU has been playing really well, so I don't want to flame them too much, but they had a few mechanisms in place that could have potentially saved I mean, for example, Renekton ulted, that might have saved him. It may still not have been enough, but Samira attempted to use her W, which actually kills projectiles that come in. And so either MSU is trolling each other, or they just had an unfortunate communication error.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of good damage going out here. Kale does hit the ult button, doing some good damage on the Herald.
Still no healing reduction.
I didn't quite see who got it, and it did get to University of Montana. All right, they're going in with a taunt here on the Mundo, doing lots of good damage, and some damage going on to Coles here. Renekton going and getting knocked by the Janna, and lots of good damage going on to Renekton. Here comes Caitlyn on the side with a nice auto kill on the Renekton.
So still no healing reduction from, actually Caitlyn has healing reduction from University of Montana. So
yes,
we at least have a single healing reduction item, but again, the problem with only having one is Caitlyn has to basically sit with everybody.
Ooh, nice dash from the Lucian here off from the Samira, and a nice assist from the Janna and Caitlyn to give Lucian a kill on the Samira down there in the bot lane. He did dash out of her projectile as he was doing that. That was nicely secured.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, I saw it in the chat, but comeback question mark, like this is when could start seeing some power spikes. They got the Kale at level 11. They have the Shen getting higher in levels. He's getting items. They all have their mythic items. You know, they have the Rift Herald, so they do have the ability to secure some potential global gold for their team.
Yes, they do.
You know,
and it looks like the Caitlyn and Lucian actually both built Kraken Slayer to really counter Nautilus Mundo here.
Yeah, looking to get that true damage out to help with the armor and magic resistance that come out from those two. So, you know, if Kale keeps scaling, which he inevitably will, MSU needs to be able to close out this game before that time. Like that, again, Kale is just a ticking time bomb. And when she hits that spike, when she hits 16, when she has a couple items, she becomes very hard to deal with.
Definitely. An almost engagement from Nautilus here. He went for the auto attack and Shen dashed over the wall before the auto attack went through. That was nice. Nautilus is booking it with the Cloud Drake jungle here. We do see a little bit of Baron play as they're clearing wards.
Yeah, it looks like just trying to slow it down. Kind of goes back to JV stem the bleeding. You know, just trying to farm up, trying to get picks where they can, not try to overextend too much.
Nice engagement here on the Shen from over the wall, and nice damage onto the emergency there. And here we see Samira doing her W stuff, but alas, Xerath's ult was able to take out the Caitlyn. Kayle is caught out by herself, but goes and does a lot of damage onto Samira, bringing out that proc. Back and forth with Samira, does get the kill on emergency, and here's Xerath on the other side for the pinch maneuver to get a kill on Janna and on Lucian, coming from Mundo, taking that kill. Now they're gonna rotate around here, clear a little bit of the wave, and probably rotate to either Drag or Baron. Looks like Renekton is going straight towards the Dragon as the rest of the team goes for the Baron. Now Shen's gonna walk towards the Dragon as well, because if they can get another Dragon, that will be the soul point for the University of Montana.
Yeah, that was a statement by MSU saying, you know, yeah, you got some picks on us, which we realized was maybe a little bit of our bad, but you know, they made a pretty big statement by, you know, making sure that they got that team fight. They won that team fight very handily. There was some good cancellation of ults from Samira. Again, you know, one of the big banes of Samira's CC, but she was able to combo back up, get another ult off. You know, Kayle trying to come in and flank, but Renekton waiting for her when she showed up, which is kind of unfortunate.
Very sure. Yeah, and here we see they do secure Cloud Drake here, so it is now 2-2 drag, as Renekton did a lot of damage for Shen and chased him pretty far, but Shen did drop the Herald down in the bot lane, so Renekton did step off of Shen to go and deal with that.
Yeah, really good choice by MSU, you know, Renekton, instead of being greedy and starting the Drake, feeling like he could be uncontested, realizing that Shen could show up and actually outsmite him since he doesn't have a smite. So instead pushes Shen away, making sure Shen can't have any involvement with the Drake whatsoever, and smites it to prevent UM from having a soul point advantage.
For sure. Alright, so here we do see Renekton's in the bot lane right now, pushing with the Baron buff, as we do see a 4-man stack here in the mid lane. So we do have a 45. Coles and Archer are 66, are both at half health though, and no poke going over to MSU. We see a knock up right there on the Mundo, and some nice damage from Kayle.
Little W block from Samira. Again, Samira's W blocks all incoming projectiles, so.
Alright, nice taunt onto the Mundo as well here from the Shen, doing a lot of good damage. He procs his ultimate though to get that life regen, and here we see Samira has her ultimate up and ready to go. She does a dash ultimate, and the nice ultimate from Janna to give that healing and the knock away from Samira. But alas, there goes the kills, and the Mundo gets the kill, and the Kayle goes and kills Renekton down there, as the double kill for Kayle goes, and alas, the Nautilus and the Mundo and the Xerath are still up and living, and they're breathing. They're taking the inhib here. Very unfortunate. They're moving it down, bringing in the heat. They're going to take this tower most likely. Shen just got up. He's going to run at him, probably taunt the Nautilus, if anything, hopefully. And then he gets a taunt onto the Mundo to do some damage. And here goes the Lucian with the ultimate to get him off the tower, to keep it up. Nautilus using his hook to get on out of there as well. Nicely done for MSU here.
yeah, again, Mundo being that very tanky, frontliner, just tanking the tower. Shahai face checking Mundo. I mean, it's a fed Mundo, a 937 Mundo with a 600 gold bounty, having Spirit Visage, having the Frostbite Fist or whatever the new mythic item is called.
Yeah, for sure.
But just giving Mundo an insane amount. Frostfire Gauntlet, that's what it is.
Frostfire.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
just giving him an insane amount of regeneration. He has Randuin's Omen, which is just, again, you look at the University of Montana side, lots and lots of physical damage. Kale is really the only AP, but she's technically hybrid. Yeah.
And Janna is the only other AP from that, which honestly, she's not really building for the aggressive Janna play, so
she's not much of an AP.
Exactly. So here we do see the MSU is getting ready for the bot lane push from the team. So they're gonna jump on them. All this rotating around. Here we see a dash from the attack from the Xerath. Alright, here we see a throw out and a hoe down there. Alright, nice engagement here. We see the Kale ultimate here, and Shen is in the center with the taunt. Kale is going down with the hit points. Mundo takes him out. Samira goes and gets a double kill on Shen and Lucian. And here we see the Mundo taking out the Caitlyn as the Xerath took Janna out as well. And here we see they're going straight for the Nexus in a 5-man stack, going and taking it out. The Crystal Burst as the Zoom goes for the victory for MSU. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the two-game sweep for MSU. As a nice little knock-in play there. Well done, Cats, for the nice game. Griz, they did their best, but they couldn't quite secure that kind of comeback that they needed after that early game, because they definitely had the late game pick with Kale specifically as well there. Very unfortunate for them. All right, wow. Well, that was the match, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Brawl of the Wild, and it looks like Cats now have the 2v1 against us in victories. Very unfortunate. After last year, they were able to come back and get the nice takedown here. And it looks like we did make some more donations raised during the match as well. Where we got about a couple $100 more here that we've gotten since the last update as well. Before we go off, though, we do have a little coach interview, and we're gonna bring him in here with a nice little call. And so we're gonna see how we're doing on there. Throw him in here. Get ready to talk with him.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, here we do have Coach Ryan.
Yep.
AKA VeggieCarp.
Coach VeggieCarp.
All right, right on. So, Veggie, do we just have you right now?
We're gonna get Pepper in here as well.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. We'll go ahead and wait to see if see when Dr. Pepper gets in here. Discuss more with you guys.
But yeah, I mean, MSU really sending a message, like Leary was saying, during the fun little trash talk. Like they were hungry for this, they wanted this, and they showed up.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, he was waiting 1.5 years for this match, so he was ready for it. But I look forward to the next time. Next time we throw down the hoe down there. Getting ready to come back with really understanding the items and the comps and what champs might actually go to play in another nice match there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it looks like chat's asking for an MVP. I'm gonna leave it up to the coaches to decide, but in my
Mhm, mhm.
opinion, chat, you guys are the MVPs because you guys are donating. You guys are helping with the Can the Cats slash camp Can the Griz events. Which honestly, at the end of the day, as much fun as it is to beat one another, helping, with deprivation and food insecurities is really the goal at the end.
Very true. Very true. And I'll reach out to everybody who donated during the time. We had some great subscriptions from Blitz Falcon as well for the kind of branch out donations there, as well as other donations throughout the night, which was amazing. Amazingly done. Very nice.
Yep. So it
Yeah.
looks like we have both coaches in the chat. We'll just get
Awesome.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey, how you
Whoa.
doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
That's
It was
good.
a fun
That's
series
good.
to watch.
Yeah.
And
I bet Pepper feels
here
good.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Going in. All right. What are your guys' first thoughts after this match? What are you both feeling? We'll start with MSU here as guess.
Well, I think both teams have a lot to learn before season. I don't know about you guys, but we just the new season or preseason I should say just started, and with all the new items, it's like we have to come up with a whole new champ set, a whole new play style, a whole new everything. So it was kind of chaotic trying to get all that wrapped up. So it was cool to see that we ended up with some wins here, but I think both teams have a lot to learn from this and can improve a lot before Big Sky starts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I 100% agree. This preseason is just it's crazy so far, and I think it's gonna still be crazy as we continue on. I'm very interested to see how the meta shakes out as well. I have no idea. I have no idea. So yeah, it was a rough couple games for us. I will admit. We didn't look too hot coming out, and but yeah, hopefully we will take a lot and learn from this, and we'll come back for the Big Sky.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the standing rivalry. Like now that MSU kind of holds the game trophy, we do have the Big Sky Conference that'll happen this coming spring. So has to step up and represent at the Big Sky Conference and
That is true.
make our own statement.
And we did take first seed last time, so we'll see. See what
We'll
we
see
can
if
do.
we can live up to that hype.
Keep that hype going. As we go into it, as both teams will understand the items and the new season as we get into that match. Right on, right on.
But those who didn't, I do want to say, those who didn't catch us at the beginning, MSU ended up actually winning the Big Sky Conference last spring. We know that with COVID, a lot of stuff happened. We ended up having basically the top 4 teams compete in a kind of a decider, and MSU did take the championship. So honestly, just hats off to MSU for putting in that time. Good job on you guys' end to at least keep it in Montana, but getting that big win. So that's
you.
pretty awesome that you guys were able to come together during a pandemic and really still have a strong showing, and showing the other schools that you're not one to be messed with.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, it's a lot of props to those guys. I mean, everyone still, it was kind of hard mental wise. Like, what are we even playing for at this point? A lot of people were just kind of like, well, what do we keep doing? It's like, well, okay, just keep going, keep practicing. You never know what might happen. And sure enough, this tournament started back up, and we started heavily scrimming again. And without a doubt, I was like, man, we are a good freaking team right now, and it's like it's gonna be. I have a good feeling going into the Griz, and sure enough, we ended up upsetting them and for you guys, and Sac State went on to Sac State and put fear into them as well. So it was really cool. It was really a team effort, and honestly, it was a fantastic time. So I thank you for the compliments on that. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, can't be understated that you guys are the first reigning champions of the Big Sky. So we'll have to step up our own game, and live up to the hype of our first seed from last year and come out a lot stronger. So that way you guys can get some competition in from us, from the Griz, because again, that's the big thing. We love playing against the the Cats. It's a long-standing rivalry, but at the end of the
Yes.
day, we're all here for good reasons, raising food for food disparity and food insecurity. So that's at the end of the day, we're all gamers with a cause, and I think that's super special for all of us.
Mhm. And we're glad everyone can participate in this entire event, honestly, because and from what I get, Dr. Pepper, you are actually a football player.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Normally, I'd be in season right now. The Brawl of the Wild would be on the field and not over the games, but
Mhm.
I'm glad that we're still having it one way or another because so similar
Yeah.
situation to the tournament last year. It's like we're just grinding right now, and like the season will happen when it'll happen, or so on and so forth.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool that we got to do this, and thank you for hosting this. Good cause, all around, helping raise food, for people in need. It's
Yeah, of
it's
course. Of course.
hats off to you guys for setting this up and getting this running because it's been pretty nice. Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we'll give you guys, just like we did for the little banter, we'll give you last words for just overall anything you want to say for, can the Cats, can the Griz, all the good stuff. MSU, you are now the winner, so I'll give it to you guys first.
All right, sounds good. Well, first off, good game, Veggie and your team. It was a good series regardless of the result. But I'm looking forward to season. I think it's going to be really competitive, but I think that's really where we were bantered a little bit at the beginning, but I think that's where it's really going to start because I think it's not just one or two teams. I think it's a good majority league that'll be good, competing for this title. So that's something with that. And again, thank you to you guys as a whole, Griz, for putting on this event, the fundraiser, and hopefully we can do stuff like this again in the future, maybe next year. So I'll be looking forward to it.
Coach Veggie.
Yeah, I totally agree. Congratulations on the win. Well deserved. You guys definitely put in the work. I'm definitely looking forward to the Big Sky in the spring and LOL and all this. And I do think that it's going to be a very competitive league, similar to last year. But yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Before we go here, I'm getting from chat, they still want you guys to choose an MVP of the night. So they're asking for it.
I mean, my personal vote, the most consistent person over both two games for me was our new mid laner Larry. I think he had a spectacular performance on the Victor, and then coming into game two. I mean, he wasn't wasn't as much of a carry role, but definitely filled his role to the extreme with the Xerath. So my vote goes to him personally. But
I think I'm gonna have to agree. I think his damage output on the Xerath game was just incredible. He had a lot of just key skill shots, and the first game, him and Puppy got together. They got a very strong lead for the team and ended up carrying together, and it's just a great mid jungle duo. And say Larry for sure.
All right, chat. Well, there you go, Larry MVP. Well, thank you both very much for coming and joining us today in this nice event and a nice little back and forth with the coaches here.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So I think we have one more interview to do to take us into the end of here.
Yes. I believe we do have the director, Michael Cassens himself, coming in for an interview really quick. So we'll get him in here, pick his mind.
All right. Michael, are you with us?
I am.
All right. Michael, good to see you. Good to hear from you.
You as well.
All right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for all you guys have been doing today. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So
go ahead, Sam.
All right. So this event, the Cats and Griz game finally happened. It was this weekend. We just saw it. And, we had the big event last weekend as well. So after all of this that's been happening, what are your like your big thoughts, like what's going through your head right now?
Boy, right now I'm pretty impressed by the community and what we've done and what we've been able to do for uh, the food bank and the community center. I think it's pretty phenomenal how much we've all been able to come together, not only have a good time, but then do something for somebody else. And I think that's always kind of something we all strive for. And it's amazing that we're able to collaborate together with our two schools and do something fun and as well as help somebody out. And so I think that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about just all the goodness that's happening, and that makes me really proud of all the players, the team, the staff, everybody. So I think that is something I think we should all feel really good about.
That's good. That's good. And honestly, I'm glad we were able to come in during the time of COVID, have this event, get together with MSU, great supporters, and they're great teammates too. To just know great banter between the two of us, as school wise, and I'm glad that was able to kind of happen and make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's remarkable, and I think all the players, the students. I mean, you all have busy lives, and so to take that time out and and come and join this event, I think is really really amazing. And I hope, as I'm thinking about this in the future, I hope this is something that we can continue into the future, as far as something that we can be a complement, something that we can help raise even more awareness next year, or something along those lines. That more fans, more people get to enjoy what's happening here and what everyone's doing. So that's what I'm thinking about and hoping for.
Right on. Right on. And I'm also hoping for it too. Kale, if you have a question as well, I can pass it on to you here.
Yeah. I think it's important, that at the end of the day, the sportsman, the competition is really golden, and it really helps push forward this idea of, creating these different types of communities and stuff, and pulling not just, small, random people in Missoula or across Montana, but also pulling in, businesses. They realize that, this is such an important thing, but being able to help play a key role in, you know, cur- continuing this tradition of can the Cats versus can the Griz. I think it's a 21-year tradition, and we almost missed it. Um, and I think it's important that we've continued it. And so, Michael, what are your thoughts on the uniqueness of our situation here with esports, that kind of attributes to that?
Well, I mean, I think that's the best part. I mean, we are unique in that we can play, uh, we can all play together, even in a time like this, which is amazing. That's what's kept the community together. It's kept our students feeling connected, and I think that's vital, right? I mean, I think that's unfortunately this is one of the side effects of COVID, is that we feel isolated and alone. And how do we create a scenario where we feel together and feel with one another? And so that's kind of the goal. And I think that this is a testament to all of our players on both campuses to say, we want to do something for our communities and not miss out and on what is need. And those needs are very real and are they're critical, right? I mean, not having enough food is something that is very that's a very that's something that we can at some point in our lives may have even experienced. And I know that we have had personal, close up personal experience with this type of thing. So it's something that is really crucial for us to keep our eyes on and keep focused on, especially in a time when it's even more exacerbated with a where people have lost jobs and people are struggling and to find work and so forth. And so if we can give back in any way that we can, then I think that's a great thing.
Sweet.
Right on. Right on. Well, thank you so much for coming in, doing this quick little interview with us, having a
Absolutely.
blast.
Yeah.
This event is huge, and I'm glad we were all here to kind of participate. I'm glad MSU was able to come and join us, not only in the game but in chat. I love seeing everyone from MSU in chat as well. I love the back and forth support, seeing everybody here. So as we cut out, we're gonna show a quick highlight video that our production crew has been throwing together of the matches we've just played here, so you guys can go ahead and check out those highlights right after. Without further ado, this has been your host, Disco Potato and Maverick, signing out. Have a good one, folks.